Merry meet everybody, and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. This is going to be a little bit of a different video for me. This is going to turn into a little bit of a rant video, so please just bear with me. I want to start this off by saying I saw Freya Norling do a video very similar to this, and it really struck a chord with me. And I want to speak up about the subject of plastic witches and plastic shamans. I see more and more disturbing trends in social media where paganry is concerned. And unfortunately, I see a lot of what I lovingly call plastic witches, plastic shamans, plastic Wiccans, who think that because they use a little extra eyeliner and they shill clothing from Romwe, Dolls Kill, Killstar, and basically use their social media reach to encourage, how can I put it rather nicely, because I don't want to get this video demonetized, to encourage rampant consumerism. I have a real problem with channels that it is one thing if you are a small business and you lovingly create handmade items, or you lovingly create incense blends and candles, and you put your energy into doing that, because not everybody has the time to sit down and make a candle. They just don't. I cannot fault anyone who has a business doing this. I myself have an Amazon storefront where I can recommend books, and I send people there. But I always tell them, listen, you don't have to buy what's in my storefront. These are books that I recommend. You ask me. This is the easiest way that I can get that information out without having to sit there and copy and paste an email over and over and over again when I get asked questions. It's just easier to say, here's a link, here's everything that I recommend, here's where I've bought a lot of my ritual clothing, here's where what I use for a lot of my filming setups when I do certain things, and go on with it. Okay? If they use the link, great. If they don't use the link and they just, go purchase whatever it is somewhere else, that's fine too. I don't mean to sound callous, but I don't depend on this for income. This is not, this is a way for me to reach out and really try and educate Wiccans, witches, pagans in the art of witchcraft, spellcrafting, divination, psychic abilities, and things of that nature, and other occult topics. You can tell certain channels, and they're really popular channels, you can tell they don't practice what they say they do. All you do by feeding the consumerism of buying stuff from major corporations, Amazon included. What you need to realize as a magical practitioner is that the most powerful magical tool you possess is yourself. You don't need a bunch of stuff to harness the power around you, charge it, and release it for specific intent, for something, some change that you want to have happen. You don't need a bunch of stuff to do it, okay? I can recommend books all day long. I can recommend products all day long. I can recommend sources to go buy the products all day long. Now, does that mean that I am against small businesses who are on social media like Twitter and Instagram and things of that nature who make occult and pagan items? Absolutely not. They put a lot of love and time and energy into what they make, okay? My head high priestess that I learned from is one person. She has a wonderful occult shop. She hand makes every candle that's in there. She makes spell kits, for people who just don't, who are just starting out, who haven't really, gotten their teeth into it, and they're learning and they feel a little timid at first. And then they usually end up being like me, where they end up making their own stuff further down the line, okay? I have bought beautiful jewelry from people who have handmade things, and I've seen it on Instagram or Twitter. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about flooding your altar with mass-produced plastic crap. And that's what I'm going to call it. It is a completely different thing when I purchase something like a wand that is hand carved. Better yet, one that I've gone out, found a piece of willow, found a piece of walnut, found a piece of oak, and carved it myself. You do not need to bankrupt yourself. One of the most powerful things that you can do as a witch and a magical practitioner is to use what is in the environment around you. For instance, recently we had beltane. I have a huge honeysuckle bush right outside my back gate. Guess what? I harvested a whole bunch of honeysuckle off that bush for beltane because it's one of the herbs that's associated with it. I didn't spend one dime. All I did was went out there by the moonlight and harvested myself. All it did was time. I'm not saying don't support pagan businesses. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't support plastic witches. Don't support plastic shamans. I don't support anyone who professes to be a shaman of a native or indigenous tribe, especially, in the part of the United States where I come from, where they have about 1% native in their background. I fit that, but I don't claim to be a shaman. It's an affront to people who are direct lineage to those tribes. So please keep that in mind as you practice your craft. Know that it's perfectly fine to support pagan small businesses, and I encourage it if you possibly can. If you can't, some of the most powerful and effective things that you can do are right outside your door. You are the most powerful magical tool that you will ever have in your toolkit. You can't buy it, but you can sure hone your skills. Work at your craft. Get to know what's outside. And don't be a plastic witch. Don't be a plastic shaman. Leave that to the big corporations. And if you happen to like wearing Kill Star or Dolls Kill or, whatever, I'm partial to Holy Clothing and a couple of other brands that I like to buy my ritual clothing from. But one of my favorite things is a homespun robe that I made myself from homespun fabric that I purchased from someone. Keep that in mind and really take a look at your practice and what kind of witch or Wiccan or shaman you want to be. Do you want to be the real deal? Or do you want to be a cheap plastic knockoff imitation like so many are these days? That's enough of my rant. I hope that this didn't offend you too much. If it did, I apologize. But I have a real problem with plastic witches and plastic shamans. If you're going to walk the walk, walk the path. It gets crooked, it meanders, and it wanders. And it takes you on a joyous journey if you allow it. No matter what your path. Don't be fake. Don't be plastic. Keep it real. I'm not going to sign off the way I normally do, because this was a little ranty. But I will sign off with brightest blessings to each and every one of you.